All right. I think we're live. Just testing connections. So we should be streaming live on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So today is the first of a series of live events that we're doing in connection with our raise on WeFunder. And today's focus is really to highlight, me, the founder of Rapify, where I came from, and kind of the ethos of where Rapify came from and why it is what it is today. So I want to just make sure we have everything going here. Looks like we have our going live, and we are live on Instagram. All right. So my name is James Heller. I'm the CEO and founder at Rapify, and today's focus is really me. It's why where I came from and kind of what led up to building Rapify. So just a bit quick background on me. I was raised in Southern California. Big focus on action sports. Grew up skateboarding and surfing and doing that, a lot of stuff in the action sports arena here in San Diego. And a lot of that really kind of helped teach me a lot about, repetitive failure and getting better at a craft. I was always a huge computer nerd. I got into the San Diego Mac users group when I was 10 years old. And it was, that was back when there was like Mac users groups. And so kind of combining like building and breaking stuff and learning, and then also just my fascination with technology kind of got me into fixing computers and working on stuff at a really young age. That led to like learning about selling stuff on eBay back when I was like 10. My parents made me an eBay account, which led to like learning how to use HTML and CSS to make good looking eBay ads and writing copy. And so all that really kind of came at a really young age. And then I started consulting as a teenager, got into e-commerce and SEO at a really young age. And then the culmination of technology and marketing really kind of came to a head early in my career, focused on cloud computing, network technology, data center technology. And so was an early founding team member at a data center and cloud provider here in San Diego. And then ultimately got to go work for a global Fortune 50 Ingram Micro, largest technology wholesaler in the world. And so like through all of that, I was exposed to lots of digital ad buying. I was controlling pretty large digital budgets, teams that were executing on digital. And I was always fascinated by out of home. Out of home advertising is kind of the category that Rapify gets bucketed into. It's anything advertising that occurs outside of one's home. So billboards, transit media, that kind of stuff. And I was equally fascinated by like how lacking it was from a media measurement standpoint, like being able to go back to my CFO or my direct report, whoever I was reporting to, with here's what I spent, here's what it did in terms of return on ad spend, and really focused on like this last click attribution type of ad buying experience. But I was also fascinated by brand and, just the brands that I had an affinity for growing up in action sports and motorsport. And so that's the other thing. I'm also a huge car nut, big into motorsport. I've been building and restoring cars like since a really young age. And I continue to do that. And I'm actually in the middle of restoring a Unimog, which is like an old military vehicle. Anyways, all that kind of heads into Rapify, and I really wanted to use a service like Rapify, and it didn't exist. There was a bunch of companies that came before Rapify that put stickers on cars. Wrapping vehicles is definitely not new to Rapify. But before Rapify, there was really never a platform that allowed you to uh, scale advertising on gig vehicles on a national scale, and then also have media measurement and all the things that you would need as a marketer to actually show that you're getting some sort of return on investment. You're getting marketing performance. You have the ability to report on what you're spending money on. And so Rapify was the first to do that. It was also at the very beginnings of the traction that gig economy was starting to get. So platforms like Uber and Lyft were raising gobs and gobs of capital. So 7 years ago, it was interesting to see the fact that you could get in a stranger's vehicle and get from point A to point B, or order food and have it delivered to your home or your business, and it's being delivered by some third party driver. That all was very foreign, and today it's commonplace. And so, kind of speaking to the two sides of the platform, I believe in democratizing out of home to some extent, making it so that we're not just putting cash in the pockets of these big media companies, but also like the pockets of the folks that are actually deploying the ad creative. And so that's the one big thing that really resonates with me personally is, when we deploy a Rapify campaign, it's not cash going straight into my pocket. Definitely, obviously, Rapify, our business survives, and we have our employees have have their wages, but for the most part, like a huge chunk of it goes to our driver base, and that's really rewarding. The fact that when a brand like Amazon or Zoom or AB InBev, some of the largest brands on the planet, when they deploy a campaign, one of the most unique things about Rapify is that a considerable portion of that ad budget goes straight into the pockets of gig workers. And gig working is not an easy thing to do with one platform by itself. And so when you look at the ecosystem of the gig economy today, most gig workers are doing multiple gig services. And what's also really cool about Rapify, and one of the things that I personally really believe in, is the fact that things like Rapify help augment the income that you can earn as a gig driver on the road. We never position Rapify as a primary source of income, but it's certainly a way for you to earn some extra money while you're on the road, if you're doing gig services or if you're just wanting to monetize your daily commute. And so we went to market with that mission, and we now have almost, I think, north of 500,000 drivers that have signed up, that have downloaded the Rapify app, and I'm super proud of that. We're also a really small team. We've actually interviewed drivers before in the past, and they think that we're like this huge team that have a call center with hundreds of people. It turns out we're actually a team of less than 20 people. So we definitely move mountains, and we really do truly care about the work product and what goes into it. And that's a big part of why we want to do this Reg CF raise, and it's why we decided that I think it's time that we give our driver network access to investing in Rapify. And so that's what really went into the decision-making process to deploy a crowdfunding campaign on WeFunder. We wanted to give our driver base the ability to own a piece of what we're building. I mean, ultimately, they're a huge part of what we're building. So why not give them the ability to own a small piece of it? And so that was the ethos of who I am, why Rapify, why we wanted to solve a problem when it came to augmenting income in the gig economy and media measurement in the out-of-home space, and then why WeFunder. And so, yeah, while we're 7 years into this, we are still, a growth stage startup. There's a lot of work that still needs to be done on the platform to make it a better experience for drivers, make it a more valuable ad product to brands and agencies. And so that's a big chunk of why we decided to raise this additional capital. We need to scale our sales organization. We need to add headcount to our engineering team. We need to add product folks. We're a small and scrappy team, and we have a lot of individuals that carry a ton of responsibility. And it's time to take Rapify to the next level. And so that's why we we're raising this capital. I think that another piece, and we'll touch on this in the live streams to come, but another big chunk of this that I think is really important to consider is Reg CF is a really cool and new way to invest in startups. Before Reg CF, regular folks, unaccredited investors, just didn't have access to doing this, to investing in companies they believed in. And so now with Reg CF and platforms like WeFunder, there's a few other platforms out there. We chose WeFunder. You can grab a small chunk and you can invest with as little as $100, which is really cool. And historically, Rapify, unless you were part of a syndicate, which was accredited investors, the minimum check to investing in a company like Rapify or investing in any of our previous rounds was $25,000. So going from 25K down to as low as $100 is a really big shift in the way that we've raised capital in the past, and it's really to drive availability and access to our gig working space. And so we have several existing investors that are participating. We're just getting started here. The goal is to get the reservations to north of 50K so we could really publicize the raise. And so I think we're about halfway there. We publicized the raise a few weeks ago. Obviously going into the holidays, really busy time, but I think we're at like half that. I think we're touching 25K. So if you haven't made a reservation, definitely hop in there, make a reservation. Reservations, by the way, are refundable. So we don't, until we actually start drawing down on us, basically as soon as we get the SEC filing done, which includes a bunch of different things we have to do. We have to do a financial review. The SEC has to basically, approve our filing, and then we can actually start drawing down on this YC safe that we're raising against. But up until that point, it's a fully refundable reservation. So you can make a reservation. If you decide you don't want to follow through on your reservation up until the point of actually signing docs and executing on your investment, you can do that. So my ask is, if you have questions, go to our WeFunder page, ask any questions you have there. We try to make sure we can answer all of those publicly. And if you want to reach out to me personally, LinkedIn is definitely the easiest way to get a hold of me. So connect with me on LinkedIn. Otherwise, I really hope you have a happy holiday season. Stay tuned for more live sessions. We're going to try to do these periodically. I think the next live session is, let's see here. I've got to look at it. We'll push a note out on the WeFunder page about the next live session, but I think we have one in the next few days. Really appreciate all those that tuned in. I definitely appreciate the support. If you have made your reservations, share it with your friends and family. If you believe in Rapify, please share as much. I just got a note from our marketing folks. Our next LinkedIn Live is Tuesday the 27th. We're going to be diving straight into our business model, our driver base, our installer network, our big brand clients, why they leverage us. So going a level deeper than we went today. So December 27th at 12 Pacific, so 12 noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. I hope to see you there. Otherwise, happy holidays, and we'll be seeing you soon. Thanks all.